Hello, World Wide Web. Welcome back to the Hangin With Web Show. I'm GW Pomichter. Thanks for logging on and tuning in. I am here at the 35th Annual Necronomicon in Tampa, Florida, and I'm hanging with Timothy Zahn. Timothy, thank you so much for coming over and hanging with us.
No problem.
If y'all don't know who Timothy is, just turn it off. No, keep watching. Keep watching. But we want y'all to know. Timothy is the author responsible for Star Wars, that didn't happen.
That didn't happen.
That didn't happen. You could do that.
We are also promoting Gravity here. Not the movie,
the actual Gravity.
Physical force.
We do that here on the show. Some of the, what is now considered the legendary universe.
Legends.
Okay?
Yes, the Legends books.
So the Legends, the Thrawn trilogy, and so much more in your collection of work. Pawn's Gambit, and we have here, we're going to spin these up in the back here, but we have Starcraft Evolution.
That comes out in about 8 days.
Look, 8 days.
About 10 days.
8 or 10 days. Look, boy, we got a whole collection here of Timothy Zahn. So, Timothy, let's start at the beginning.
Yeah.
You've been writing a long time. What made you
Went
dive?
professional 1980.
1980.
So
okay,
a few years.
Just a yeah. So, what made you dive into being kind of all into the sci-fi authorship?
I watched a very bad TV show and I said I could write better than that.
Perfect.
Very literally. I sat down over the next 2 weeks and I wrote a story, which was not very good, but showed me how much fun writing was.
Awesome.
So, worked at it for a hobby for a couple of years. Sold my first. That was in November of '75. 3 years later, in December of '78, sold my first story.
Wow.
July of '79, I sold my second story. The day I found out my advisor had died overnight of a heart attack, my thesis advisor. Wow. Leaving me with a project that was not working and never was going to work. There was a basic flaw in it.
Okay.
So I worked with a professor on a new project for a semester, discovered I was enjoying writing more than I was doing physics, and I couldn't do both at the same time, just not enough mental energy to do both things. So in January of 1980, I quit the department and started writing full-time.
Wow, fantastic. Now, flash forward, here we are, got Starcraft Evolution coming out in 8 or 10 days, give or take?
November.
Early November, okay. So, tell us a little bit about this latest project.
Okay, I was approached last November by Blizzard Books, actually earlier than that, to do a Starcraft novel picking up after the last game, Legacy of the Void, and the little modules, the Nova modules as well. We sat down, they pitched what they were thinking, we'd like to do this, kind of go this direction. We batted ideas back and forth for a couple of hours, came up with the basic storyline, I wrote the outline, they wanted a few tweaks, tweaked it, got started. Finished this book back in February, I think. We had to do a little bit of rewriting because there was some of the game flavor I hadn't quite captured, and they were, okay, this character is more like this than what you've got. Okay, easily done. So
let's talk about that a little bit. You have been, for a good part of your career with a lot of your work, sort of the ultimate professional fan fictionalist. You dive into existing universes and expand them greatly. What's that like, working under those parameters with existing rules and existing, paradigms that you have to work in?
Well, first of all, let me just clear up something. I've got 10 Star Wars books, soon to be 11, 2 Terminator books, Starcraft, and a couple of collaborations with David Weber, but a total of 50 books. Wow. So actually less than half of mine have been, but those are the ones that have garnered the most attention, of course. So it's not that I'm that's all I'm doing.
Oh, absolutely,
It's mostly what I know.
Yeah.
It's
Well, having done both of those,
working with Star Wars
yeah.
or Starcraft or Terminator is like, call it basketball. Okay, there are the size of a court. There are a number of people you can have on the court. You know, periods are this long. The rules are this way. So you can still do a great game. It's just you're limited by the parameters of the game.
Okay.
When I'm inventing something of my own, it starts out more like Calvin Ball from Calvin and Hobbes, where there are new rules. Now, once I establish something, I've got to be consistent.
Yeah.
But, for example, as with my Quadrail series, the travel between stars is inside giant tubes. You ride in trains running inside the tubes that are doing a light year per minute. Okay, this is something that would never work in Star Wars, obviously, or Starcraft, or Terminator, or anything else.
But
it's a weird idea,
Timoty created, and
now I go with that idea and make the consistent universe about that.
Okay.
So with Star Wars or Starcraft, the rules are already there. I just have to work within them. So it's a different. It's neither is better or worse. They're just different.
Well, that was my next question. Is what I know that, like you said, a little less than half of your work is in these pre-created universes, and then the other half is in your own. I was going to ask you, do you have a preference? What is your preference, really? Or do you just want to write?
I want to write. I want to do good stories.
Awesome.
As I say, there are advantages and disadvantages to both. With Quadrail series, my own stuff, I had to create new characters and explain them, introduce them to the readers. With Starcraft, okay, people know who Artanis is, who Zagara is. Star Wars, they know who Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, and Leia are. So I don't have to take the time to introduce them to the readers.
How much collaboration goes into a pre-created project? Now, I know you said in StarCraft there was some back and forth there.
Oh, there's back and forth with all of them. I mean, Lucasfilm is very careful to watch over everything that we do.
Now, do you still get to write in more of a legendary universe, or does your new stuff have to work in their continuity
the new
line?
stuff, Thrawn, is going to be official canon.
Oh, okay.
And this is following on to his Thrawn's debut in Season 3 of Star Wars Rebels. He is a major villain in Rebels, so he has now become canon, and this book will then also be canon.
Okay.
So from this point on, anything I do for Star Wars will be a canon book, which means not only does Del Rey and Jennifer Heddle at Lucasfilm watch over everything, but the story group at Lucasfilm, which is charged with keeping continuity and keeping all the linkages
in all
correct,
these different universes,
they also will want to be looking over everything.
Wow.
So rather than the two-headed
it's like quadrupling
editor,
your editorial
instead of
staff.
it's more like a tri-headed. And if you throw in Disney, probably quadruple-headed.
Yeah. Wow.
Which is not a problem. I mean, I think I understand Star Wars well enough that we're going to get tweaks and things going.
All right, and you heard it here first. Timothy Zahn thinks he understands Star Wars. Okay.
One never wants to assume.
Absolutely.
But there will also be things that I may have put into this book that will contradict or violate something that's in the works I don't even know about. So having the story group looking over everything is immensely good. Yeah.
Authors, comic book creators, working right now consecutively in this universe.
And movies are ahead, working ahead. You've got some preliminary scripts for probably 8 and 9.
Wow.
The Han Solo movie, whatever other spin-offs they want to do. All of this is stuff I have no knowledge of, but the story group will have a handle on that. And they can then tell me, okay, we can't do this because this is coming up. And okay, good. So that's all to the better.
And of course, nothing that they tell him we can tell you. So, haha.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay, so you have been making the con circuit for a very long time.
Yep.
And been kind of around our ilk for a long time. We love coming to the conventions. The fans and the folks and the creators here are kind of, creators are fans are creators. It's just a great amalgamation of people.
Yeah.
And what's probably the most unique or fun experience that you've had in your convention touring?
Most enjoyable,
one
of course.
Story is hard.
Well, meeting fans is always great.
Yeah.
A step up from that would be meeting fans who are cosplaying as some of my characters.
Yes, awesome.
I think 3 Grand Admiral Thrawns at New York Comic Con a few weeks ago. Mara Jade shows up a lot as well. Weirdest experience probably is the time I was at a convention at a room party, and I was pinned in the corner by a woman who was very upset with what I had done, or what had happened with Mara Jade in the most recent Star Wars book. This was 20 years ago. And I explained gently to her, I didn't write that book. I have no control over this, and I'm sorry she didn't like what the other author
What
had.
is that
Wait a minute.
Okay, yeah.
She didn't care.
It was still your fault.
It was still my fault.
Wow.
My character, my fault.
Well, I was going to say,
yeah.
you create a character in one of the spin-off universes from an existing universe.
Right.
I guess you sort of half answered the question. That character now belongs to that universe, and other writers step in and can work with that character now.
Yep.
Wow.
You are giving away your character to daycare.
Wow.
So it's part and parcel. You know that going in. If you don't want to do that,
It's
you
a
don't
very
sign a
shared
contract.
universe, right?
Very shared
okay.
universe.
So we want to let the fans out there get to know Timothy as a person a little bit. The girls behind the camera go out to Facebook, Twitter, everywhere they can find on social media, and they grab fun questions that people are asking each other, and then I'm supposed to ask you. So, everybody wants to know, what does Timothy Zahn sing in the shower?
I don't sing.
He doesn't sing.
I don't sing in shower or the car.
Or the car, at all. What's on the radio?
I tend to do, usually the classical station.
Okay. Which is why he doesn't sing, because I can't do that. No one
It's very
can do
hard
that.
to sing to Rachmaninoff.
Yeah. One can try.
Yeah, and
Don't
Schubert's songs without words. You don't get to make up your own.
You don't get to make up your
go with it.
They have entire YouTube channels where people make up, and it's never good. Okay, so outside of your own universes, favorite fictional hero?
Oh, let's see. Favorite fictional hero, I would probably go with Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes. Loving it.
Yep.
Loving it. I'm a huge Conan Doyle fan. And I love the older movies, the Basil Rathbone movies, and I'm loving BBC Sherlock because they just do such a fan. Mark Gatiss
very much enjoyed that.
They really brought it into the new season. So huge Sherlock fans here. So excellent answer.
Oh, thank you.
Yes,
thank you.
Okay. All right.
The force is strong with me. I knew that.
We've got that going, man. You guys will see this way afterwards, but you should see our panel tomorrow. It's amazing.
Yes.
It's going to be amazing. It has been amazing, according to you people.
For all of you with a TARDIS, come by.
Come by. That's right. Come on by. Okay, so 2 things on Timothy Zahn's bucket list, which you've probably got like forever to get done. So,
I don't know if there is anything. I'm pretty much happy with the way my life is going. I would like to be involved in a movie or TV production. But that...
Welcome to the show.
Yes.
See? Check.
Check this one. Not quite what I had in mind.
Yeah, I'm sure. Okay, writers write when the muse speaks, and then, of course, when you have to, when you're on deadline. So you're up all night long, you're putting together the next great story. Favorite midnight snack? What's going to keep you going all night long? Is it coffee? Is it Red Bull? Is it what do you got?
I will instead go to bed at 10 and get up at 3.
Get up at 3?
I tend to be more of a morning person.
Okay.
So I don't really do midnight snacks at all.
So, see, for me, 3 midnight, it's all the same.
Yeah. But when you wake up at 3 or 3:30 in the morning, food is not really on your mind.
That's true. That is.
Now, the cats would say otherwise. Food is on their mind.
When you get up.
But they don't get fed till 6, so.
They got to watch you write for 3 hours before they can get to the cat
and
bowl.
Sit around and kind of hint.
Yeah, just, hey, yeah. How did you celebrate your last birthday?
My last birthday, I think I was flying to DragonCon.
Flying to DragonCon.
I don't celebrate birthdays anymore.
No. Okay, there's a point at which
I'm
all I
not
did
much
was
of a
make
celebrator.
it. All I did was make it to the next. I didn't really do anything. I just kept trudging along, right? All right, well, we got to wrap it up though, but we want to
Okay.
do another shout out real quick on coming up in 8 days, Starcraft Evolution by Timothy Zahn. We've got
in April,
Star Wars in April,
Star Wars
Thrawn
Thrawn.
coming. Guys out there, we're going to put some links down below for Timothy Zahn in case you haven't already Googled it, or in case you haven't been over to Amazon ever or into a bookstore. But we're going to put those links down below, so make sure you check out Timothy's work. If you're a Star Wars fan, Timothy is one of the writers who created the extended universe that we knew, which is now the legendary universe and is now working canon in the new universe.
Working canon,
So
yes.
it's still coming, guys. There's lots of Star Wars coming up. As we wrap it up, we want to ask you, though, what's the next event that people can find you at?
Next event is BlizzCon,
BlizzCon.
Blizzard's convention
Okay.
in Anaheim next weekend.
Next weekend in Anaheim, California.
Yes. And it's sold out, so but there's an online, you can attend online.
Go
I think.
online and check that out, folks. Our special thanks to our partners and friends at Something Unique Magazine, the Florida Book News, Wordfire Press, the Space Coast Comics, Famous Faces and Funnies, and our folks over at the Historical Miniature Gaming Society South. Blah. And I'm GW Pomichter. We've been hanging with Timothy Zahn, the author of Pawn's Gambit and some Star Wars legendary series, including coming the Thrawn trilogy. Remember, folks, subscribe down below. Come back and see who we're hanging with. Log on, tune in, and see who we're hanging with next.